Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In this video, we are mainly going to talk about chronic hypertrophic rhinitis, which is the second type of chronic rhinitis after chronic simple rhinitis. Chronic is a condition which is of more than 12 weeks or 3 months in duration. Hypertrophy means thickening and rhinitis means nasal mucosal inflammation. So basically, chronic hypertrophic rhinitis is a condition of thickening of nasal mucosa, submucosa, seromucinous glands, periosteum and bone with more marked changes in the turbinates. The main etiology behind the chronic hypertrophic rhinitis is recurrent nasal infections, chronic sinusitis, chronic irritation of nasal mucosa due to the smoke or dust, industrial irritants, prolonged use of nasal drops, and vasomotor and allergic rhinitis. Nasal obstruction is the main or predominant symptom. Then nasal discharge, which is thick and sticky, headache due to the impinging of hypertrophied turbinates on the nasal septum, heaviness of head, and patient will complain of the transient anosmia or loss of sense of smell. Then examination reveals hypertrophy of turbinates. Turbinal mucosa is thick and it does not pit on pressure. It shows a little shrinkage with the use of vasoconstrictor drugs due to the presence of underlying fibrosis, and these two are the main signs which differentiate the chronic hypertrophic rhinitis from the chronic simple rhinitis, in which condition the turbinal mucosa pit on pressure and shows shrinkage with the use of vasoconstrictor drugs. Then in chronic hypertrophic rhinitis, maximum changes are seen in inferior turbinates. It may be hypertrophied in its entirety or only at its anterior and posterior end or along the inferior border, giving to a mulberry appearance, which is a granular and hypertrophied appearance of the inferior turbinate. Then talk about the treatment for the chronic hypertrophic rhinitis. Basically, we have to discover the cause and remove it. Medical treatment like the use of nasal decongestants or vasoconstrictors to reduce the size of turbinates are not very effective due to the underlying fibrosis. So mainly the treatment is surgical, in which we have to do the reduction of turbinates, which can be done with the use of various methods. Only then the nasal obstruction will be relieved. The methods of turbinate reduction are linear cauterization, submucosal diathermy, cryosurgery of turbinates, submucous resection of turbinate bone, in which bony obstruction is removed but terminal mucosa is preserved for its functions. Other options which we have available for turbinate reduction are partial or total turbinectomy. Hypertrophied inferior turbinate can also be partially removed at its anterior end, inferior border or posterior end. Middle turbinate, if hypertrophied, can also be removed partially or totally. Excessive removal of turbinates should be avoided as it leads to the persistent crusting. Then also turbinate reduction can be done with the help of lasers. We have another condition called as compensatory hypertrophic rhinitis, which is seen in the cases of DNS or deviated nasal septum, in which condition the septum is deviated to the one side of the nose and the other roomier side of the nose shows hypertrophy of inferior and middle turbinates. This is an attempt on the part of the nature to reduce the wide space to overcome the ill effects of drying and crusting that always attend wider nasal space. Hypertrophic changes seen in these cases are not reversible with the correction of nasal septum and often require a reduction of turbinates at the time of septal surgery. So we have to do the turbinate reduction along with the septoplasty to correct this compensatory hypertrophic rhinitis. That's all about chronic hypertrophic rhinitis. Other types of chronic rhinitis are discussed in separate videos, so stay tuned to the channel for the upcoming videos by hitting the bell icon. Thanks for watching.